Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Mr Speaker, I want to pass on our regards to all retiring colleagues and wish them the very best. To those soon to retire, bad luck, but that's what politics is like. And there are going to be a few, I can assure you. And I want to say also, to get rid of the debris of organisation, that those who want to see a change in this country, and a real change, will be at the Kelson Community Centre at 1:30 on the 10th of August for our launch. It's just common sense. Mr Speaker, no. Mr Brown, if you want to come, you'll have to get there early because it's going to be wall to wall. It won't be like those telephone booth meetings you've been having where you say something or cough and they report it. No. We respond to market demand. Now, first of all, let's be very clear. We want to thank, and New Zealand First wants to thank all of the many people whose commitment, integrity and professionalism here ensure that Parliament runs in a smooth and seamless way. Thanks to everyone in the Speaker's office, the Clerk's office, the Hansard reporters, all the library staff and the telephonists, and we acknowledge especially all the messengers in their helpful, cheerful manner around this parliamentary precinct. We thank also the security guard team for keeping us safe here, and above all, a special thanks to the cleaners who deserve a pay rise. Right? And we will deliver them a pay rise as soon as this election's over. If we've forgotten anybody, our apologies. We appreciate all of those who are part of the parliamentary community who enable us to operate as an effective political party and to keep these people honest. Not the easiest job there is. Not an easy job at all. We support our dedication in our staff, in our own office, that has made this year for New Zealand First yet again a successful one. And as you know, we'll be celebrating our 21st birthday tonight. Well, unlike the National Party, we don't get drunk on a wine biscuit. No. Mr Speaker, in this Parliament we have been a firm and outspoken opposition party whilst always being constructive. We've been unafraid to tackle contentious issues, areas such as, for example, what others regard as taboo, whānau ora, wholesale immigration, scandal after scandal in the immigration office, the treaty industry, which has been the party with the resounding message, the one that you people of this country can rely upon, that's got the record. Not just a dog whistle when they get worried, but a consistent record through these last 21 years. We have spoken for the ordinary people of this country, the people who the national government has consistently chosen to ignore and overlook, and I know personally that the National Party's political support is soft. It is serious soft. And they are below where they were this time from the last election, and on this present basis, they are seriously in trouble, and some of the inside body language shows. Mr Key called an early election. He called an early election. He said it was to calibrate it with the APEC agenda. That was false. Stephen Joyce let out of the bag. He said, oh, our supporters were going to the beach, so he fixed that one. You see how deceitful they are? Call a snap election on the basis of their political advantage. They've had 6 years at the helm, and you know, it's an old saying, pride cometh before a fall. And there's Mr Bennett laughing now, but I know his knees are shaking. The question is, do their policies deserve another term? And the answer is, well, what policies? The answer is a resounding no. Why give their policies more time to do more damage? We're on a slide. $150 billion of debt, and they are smiling. National debt, that is the government debt, up 6 times to $60 billion, and they call themselves proficient managers. They're unbelievable. They are bereft of ideas and intent only on helping their well-connected mates and cronies. And that's what's going to lose them the election, because they've looked after their own. But this time, those who have been abandoned and forgotten, or as the famous Australian Prime Minister Menzies called those forgotten New Zealanders, they're going to get out on election day and they're going to express their anger, and they are most definitely not voting the National Party. Yes. Our correspondence, our emails, our contacts is that they know to hang on just 7 more weeks, because help's on its way in the form of New Zealand First. You know, Mr. Speaker, this is what their record is. Massive debt, massive government debt, home ownership rates, the worst since 1951 when Holland was the new Prime Minister. The worst since 1951. And then there's all that incompetence, the bread and butter of this administration, total incompetence. Mr. Fix-It was going to fix up Nova Pay, right? Oh, he's an ace. Of course, every morning he gets up, he goes and points towards Pakuranga and bows to a man called Morris Williamson, who made him the multi-millionaire he is. It's another story, but when I hear these stories about how competent and how much business experience they got, I do my investigations, and we know how he got his money. Now, Nova Pay, what a fiasco. The 800 million South Canterbury Finance blowout. 800 million, and they wouldn't have an inquiry. Refused to have an inquiry as to the incompetent ministers or Treasury. So in short, they gave an underwriting arrangement to South Canterbury Finance and didn't cap the underwriting document. Oh, Mr. Bennett says, who gave it? Well, look at your colleagues. What have you been doing in caucus? I mean, do you go to caucus, eat your lunch? Go and ask the ministers, why did you incompetent bozos lose my people, the taxpayers of Hamilton East and West, $800 million? That's called accountability. Now, of course, this is the National Party that has this feature. It asks a nice guy like Goldsmith to stand in a seat and pull down his hoardings. I mean, how politically cuckolded could you get? How politically, to use an old English expression, cuckolded can you get? Now, you know, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell Mr. Sabin he's in trouble in his electorate as well. Oh, he wanted to go to Whangarei. He wanted to move to Whangarei because he's not popular. He hasn't got John Carter skills. Oh, no, he's not popular in Dargaville, Kaihu, all those places, I know. They keep on saying, Winston, when are you going to put up a candidate? We don't like this guy. Because when the Mangawa heads, people got into trouble, what did he do? He just deserted them. Just deserted them. And those Mangawa people in their thousands are most definitely not voting for any party that didn't help them. But one party did. New Zealand First. You know, the question is, this country's sovereignty has been so compromised by this National Party, and we've got so many people who are non-citizens allowed to buy into this country, buy property, cause a massive housing bubble in Auckland, and then we have from Kaitaia to Invercargill pay high interest rates, 4 rises in the CPI already. From Kaitaia to Invercargill paying high interest rates because of what? National's open door policy for immigration and offshore buying of Auckland homes. What a farce. Mr. Speaker, soon the people of this country are going to get one of those glorious things that in the canvas of history has been most rare. That is a democratic vote. If you look down the ages of history, having a vote at an election is a rare privilege. But they're going to get it, and they're coming out with a vengeance. Now, I want to tell the media one thing. If any reports are out there that New Zealand First is in discussions with any other political party, any such report will be, to use Geoffrey Palmer's famous words, spreading rumour with malice. It'll be false. It'll be an intentional lie on the part of that journalist. It'll have no basis whatsoever. Only one party is independent in this parliament, and its name is New Zealand First. Its name is New Zealand First. And that's why hundreds of thousands of New Zealanders are going to shock some people in the press gallery on the 20th of September, because they're coming out and they're going to make sure this time their voices are heard. Our commitment to them is we will not let you down.
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr. Speaker, every one of those